Now at this point, you need to install the nozzle. So the nozzle already has the filter installed inside. Everything's good to go. After you've deburred the unit and you ran the pellets through, and you can clean out the inside either with your finger once you turn the unit off, or you can use a wire brush. Makes it easier. You then proceed to thread this on. Okay, now here's one of the parts where vice grips become handy. They're not essential, but they help a lot. You want to grab onto the part on the back here of the stainless steel coupler without damaging anything else. You don't want to grab onto the wires. And you hold that steady. Now from this point, you're going to want to take an adjustable wrench and tighten this on. If it's hand tight, it'll probably hold, but it's really better if you get it tighter with a wrench. So once you get that tightened on with the wrench, now before we put on the insulation, we're going to need to install the thermocouple wire. So to install the thermocouple wire, go ahead and remove that. Okay, so for here, it's really best if you have a thin piece kept on tape, but if you don't, you can just cut it to a thin piece. Okay, so go ahead and peel off about 6 inches to a foot. And what you're going to do is you're going to get a piece started right from the end of the thermocouple probe here. And just wrap it around gently. Now you're going to look for on this unit, on the nozzle you installed, there's 2 opposing holes drilled into the side faces right here. So you're going to want to stick it right into one of those holes, like that. Now what you're also going to want to do is kind of bend it, and then bend it backwards. And you're going to take this and you're going to wrap it around. Now the reason we bend it back is so that there's actual area for the tape to completely secure this thermocouple. You don't want this thermocouple wire coming loose, because if it does, you won't get a reading and the temperature unit will tell it to keep heating up, which is bad. So you can see right here, there's a little bit of a loop right here, and that's where the tape is secured. Now I never do just one layer, you want to do multiple layers to totally ensure that this will not come off. So again, make sure these are nice and tight. Get about another foot of length. And continue to wrap around. Now one of the things that's very handy, and at the very end, rather than leaving it on the hot part, wrap it around the wire like this. This is because the wire doesn't get really hot, and kept on tape sometimes likes to peel away from the very hot components, so this prevents it from slowly peeling itself off. After we've done that, that's when you want to install on the insulation component. But before that's done, these wires, just for wire cleanliness, you want to route them over the pipe. So what you do, take this wire and you just start wrapping it around the pipe like this. So now you keep wrapping it until, when you pull these wires tight to the same length like this, they should end up at the same spot, like so. And you'll notice we've wrapped it in a very neat bundle around this small pipe. Okay. So now, this is where we're going to take zip tie wires. Again, it's wire routing. So one of the things that's important is do not zip tie right over this green wire right here. You risk damaging the actual thermocouple by compressing together the 2 wires, and then it will fail to work. So instead, go around this part right here, and then we're going to put another one on the front end, slightly away from the wire's end. Okay, now what we're going to do is route these wires right here through the front end and down through here. So go ahead and take these wires and you push them down right down through here. Just come out the bottom and then go ahead and pull it tight. Okay, so now you can lean your unit back. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take this green wire and you're going to route it through the leftmost hole, like so. Go ahead and gently work it through. And then you're going to take your black wire and you're going to route that through the center hole. Again, gently work it through. And then you're going to take your red wire. And I remember all of these at this step should already have the crimps on, but if you want to do it after, that's fine too. So then you take this red one and route this through. Now for zip tie placement, you don't want to put a zip tie all the way right at this front side, because if you ever need to remove the motor, you won't have enough slack over here. So what we're going to do is zip tie right around where these connection points are right here. Like so. And then we're going to do the same, leaving about 2 inches in front of where the actual bullet connectors are. So at this point you're going to want to cut off all the excess from the zip ties. Then we have our 2-wire insulator right here. The larger one goes over these wires.